Hey, and welcome back to another Photoshop tutorial. This time I'm going to be showing you how to change someone's hair color, and this was a really highly requested tutorial. So now basically what it's going to look like is we have our before right here with someone with black hair, and the after in which they have a kind of a brownish red hair color. You can also add some image adjustments if you find that necessary. So to start, I'm going to delete these two things. We have our image. Now this is one I just found on Google, like always. And the first step is to right-click it and duplicate it by clicking Duplicate Layer. So now, the way we change the hair color is by adjusting the image's curves. So let's go into Image, Adjustments, Curves. Now, bear in mind that your image will definitely vary from mine, because let's say you have a picture with someone with blonde hair. It's going to be a lot easier to change their hair color than someone with much darker black hair like this. So let's go into the red channel. Let's pump the red up to about here or so. See, let's go into the green, maybe bring that up a little bit. Not too much. And finally the blue. Now this is basically just some experimenting and also just going by looks. As you can see, it's previewing what I'm doing right here. So whatever you think looks good. Let's see. That looks pretty good. I want to go back into the red a little bit and bring that up. Okay, so when you're satisfied with what you have, you can also adjust the overall RGB, and I'll do that. I'll just bring that down a little bit. Okay, so when you're totally done, click OK, and then your changes will be applied to your new layer. So now, you can see that even though we changed the hair color, we also changed everything else in the image. So that can be a positive or a negative thing. So in this case, let's say it's negative, we can get rid of this kind of extra skin tone we added by doing a layer mask. And to do that, we click this button right down here, and you'll see a white thumbnail appear. And now everything that's white will appear. So if we paint on black, the things that are in black will eventually disappear. So let's do that by just painting over this image in black, and you'll see that everything we paint loses the effect we just added from the curves. So by doing this, we can keep the effect only on the hair, and it's also a non-destructive method of doing that. So I'll just do that quickly. And because it's such a subtle change, you won't need to worry too much about destroying too much of the realism in the image. Okay. So that looks pretty good. And like I said, you can always go back and adjust the curves image a little bit. But so we have our before with the black, and then you can see our after with the brown. So it's basically kind of an experimentation through the curves of the image. But let's say you want to do something totally different and you want to do a blue hair color. So let's do that now. We're going to duplicate the layer, click OK, and we're going to go back into the curves. And now we're going to focus mainly on the blue channel, so let's bring that up. We can also bring down the red. And by doing it in the curves rather than painting it on, it keeps kind of the highlights and the shadows of the image to make it appear like it's more realistic. So let's see. Bring up the RGB a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, like I said, it's basically experimentation to see what looks good on your particular image, because depending on your image, things might be different. So once you have something that looks good, like this blue, we're going to do the same thing like we did before the layer masks, since we don't want the rest of our skin to have that blue tone to it. So we'll paint that out by using black. Now in this situation where the color of the hair is more obvious, you have to be a little bit more careful when painting out your mask, because it'll be much more noticeable if you paint over the hair. So now if you were doing this for something more professional, you might take a little more time than what I'm doing now, but for tutorial purposes I'm going pretty fast. So as you can see, it's just a matter of thinking of the color you want to change the hair to and experimenting with that through the curves adjustments. Now with this hair color in particular, let's get rid of this in here. You can even adjust it a little bit further by duplicating this, let's say, and maybe changing the blending mode. Oops. Duplicate it. And then changing the blending mode to something such as soft light. Looks like my layers menu got undocked. You can see that that kind of enhances it a little more. But for the most part, you're going to be experimenting through the curves menu. That's about it. So you can see there is our after with the brown hair, and from that we got it from this kind of black right here. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. You can always subscribe by clicking the button on the left or posting any comments, and thanks for watching.